Okay, good afternoon, everybody. The good news is, when I'm done talking, we're finally going to get to meet Dani. But I wanted to take a few minutes to extend some thanks and some appreciation before I have a chance to introduce Dani. First, just be aware, it's pretty awesome what's in here, and all of you that came today. Do you realize that, as near as we can tell, if this was a regular season volleyball match, the number of people here would rank about 15th in the country for total attendance at a regular season match, just here for today's press conference. First, I want to take a minute to thank Dani's family, particularly Lane and Boone. Welcome you guys back home, but to your entire family. My guess is you're pretty excited, but I want to thank you for giving Dani to us. Lane, many of you know, Lane was a long snapper for the football team, and if you've been following NCAA rules, there may actually be some codicil that he's got eligibility left. And if you saw us last year, Matt Rule may be calling you, Lane. And Boone, buddy, you know, you're going to love Nebraska, but I will tell you this, Nebraska is going to love you a whole lot more. So I am thrilled that you're here. Also, the dude down here has got away with sitting down, but I'm going to be the third person that's going to salute John, and I'm going to make him stand up and receive the recognition from all of us that he well deserves. John? I can do stuff like that now that he's retired. A lot's been written about John's legacy over the course of the last week since this announcement dropped, but I will tell you, it isn't the trophies, and it's not the wins. It is how he has led this transition really over the last 10 days, 2 weeks, and leaving a program not only better than he inherited it, but putting the program in a position to achieve even greater heights than when he led it. And so, John, that's what separates you from all the other wins and trophies that everyone else has, is how you've transitioned this program and made sure Nebraska volleyball remains what Nebraska volleyball is. Thanks, John. Governor Pillen is here today. I appreciate you, Governor. The Governor and John share a couple of bonds. One, they are great leaders. They are Nebraskans through and through. They're also horsemen, and they share a love of horses. And one of the interview questions, Dani, if you remember, do you like to ride horses? Yes or no? And she said no. And so that was a clincher for us. And so one of the bonds, Governor, maybe you should develop with Dani is take her advice on horses. Several members of university leadership are here today. You heard from Dr. Gold, and we just can't thank Dr. Gold enough for his leadership. Chancellor Rodney Bennett is sitting down in front, and members of the Board of Regents. And for all of you, for university leadership, if you look around, I think we need to thank you for empowering this, and your predecessors for empowering this, because it doesn't happen anyplace else. And so we really appreciate your leadership. And I want to extend a special thanks to everyone from the Freeman schools, from Adams, Nebraska. So as near as I can, 604 is the population of Adams, Nebraska. There were 700 RSVPs from Adams, Nebraska for today. If you're going to pick a day to rob the bank in Adams, Nebraska, today is the day. But for the students from Freeman schools, just one quick message. Dani sat in your desk, she walked your halls, she played in your gym. And what she has become is the dream of every high school student, to be great at what you want to be, and the opportunity came from your school. And so as you look up to somebody, always look up to Dani, because she is what we all aspire for our children. And I'm so very proud of her, and thank you for being here and being a part of today. And Probably the most important thank you is for the volleyball staff and the 14 women in the locker room that are sitting over here. You know, they carry themselves with grace and class on and off the floor. But the last week, 10 days, they've been put through stuff that it happens, right? But you don't want to see it happen. But how they have responded with that grace and class and presence, everything that we see out in front is exactly what they're like behind the scenes. And I'm just so proud to be associated with their program. I will share one thing we talked about in the locker room, that the only thing that's unbeaten in anybody's life is destiny. And destiny puts the right people at the right place, for some reason at the right time. And destiny decided that it was this team that was going to navigate this transition, and that they would be able to not just survive it, but thrive within it. And so the last week has proven destiny again is unbeaten, because that's exactly what they're doing. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very much. Kristen talked about National Girls and Women in Sports Day. It is no coincidence, I don't think. It was the 39th National Girls and Women in Sports Day officially yesterday. Dani is 39. There's some synergy there. I've said this at John's press conference last week. If Dani was not a Nebraskan, if Dani did not play here, if Dani did not coach here, Dani is the right person to be the head coach of Nebraska. Over the last 8 years, her winning percentage at Louisville, second in the country. You know who was number 3? That guy right down there. She has achieved at an extraordinarily high level with a program that she virtually built. But besides that, besides the track record, I will say it's two things that for Kristen and I set Dani apart, and why this was a very short, brief search. And as the jeweler said, she said yes. But it was a very short search for two reasons. Number one, she bet on herself. She could have sat at the end of the bench and felt that the head coaching job would be an entitlement to her because of what she'd done in the past once John decided to retire. But she didn't. She left for Louisville. She built that program back up. She did what Nebraskans do. She went away knowing that she was going to achieve and she was going to earn. Nothing was going to be entitled and nothing was going to be given to her. She was going to achieve and she was going to earn everything that she wanted in her life. And hopefully, Dani, this is the end of that road for you, but I'm so proud of what you did to get here. And secondly, she's a winner. On this court, this very court, one of the reasons we didn't put the volleyball court down, I don't know if you recognize it, you won 2 state championships playing basketball on this very wooden floor in here. She's a winner. She's won at everything. Everything. And for those of you who haven't met Lane and Boone, I will tell you she wins at everything. There are 4 rules when you hire somebody. 4 characteristics that are absolutes. Number 1 is character. Number 2 is integrity. She has represented herself her entire life with character and integrity. There was no question that she brought those 2 things. Next was ambition. That was the move to Louisville. You want somebody that's ambitious. Well, you know the other thing? Hire a winner. Because guess what winners do? Win. And it was very easy for all of us to make the decision for those reasons. Now, add icing to the cake, she is a Nebraskan. She was a national champion as an athlete. She was a national champion sitting on the bench and coaching alongside John. And it is not lost on any of us inside the department. In this week of National Girls and Women in Sports Day, she is going to be the 4th female Husker athlete alum to be head coach in this program. Amy Williams in basketball, Rhonda in softball, Heather in gymnastics. That is remarkable, and it says such great things about the women in our state and the fact that they come back to lead the next generation of women in this state. The best program in the nation should have the best head coach in the nation, and the Huskers do. The Huskers did, and the Huskers do. Now with that, if you turn your attention to the video boards, there's a little tribute to Dani and her journey back home to Nebraska.
I was at the celebration in '95. I was at the celebration in 2000. Just